Lots of news lately. Lots
Office
of
talk.
new stuff.
That's how we introduce the new segment, Office Talk. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. So, let's start with the one thing that Sony has actually confirmed. There's some new Sony news, and we want to dig into it and talk a little bit about it. The first and I think most interesting news that Sony has confirmed is that they have announced a new global shutter sensor with 105 megapixels and 100 FPS. We're taking this off SonyAlphaRumors.com, known to be kind of a hit or miss when it comes to rumors, but
Somewhat reliable sometimes.
but it seems like Sony has officially announced this. What do we think?
Well, first of all, which camera will get it?
That's a good question.
Like 100 megapixel, I feel like it's going to be reserved for like the top of the line A1, A9, maybe A7R series.
I would say A7R over anything else, if even that. So the thing about the sensor is it looks, I mean, I don't know if this picture is real, but it looks square.
Yeah.
And we also have to keep in mind that Sony provides sensors to other camera brands. Some of them being Phase 1, Fujifilm, Nikon, so on and so forth. So
Okay.
maybe this is a large format or a medium format that Sony's supplying to somebody else. But who
What
knows?
does it say? Wait, what does it say? What format? Like, because that should just be normal full frame.
Yeah, you would hope so, right? But
Yeah.
the picture is of a square sensor.
It could still be full frame, but square.
Yeah, just unused space. Or maybe they have some DJI tech where the lens turns vertically, and then you can also shoot vertical photos.
No, but I
in
mean that's the
film.
thing, right? Like the key thing here is global shutter. So I'm guessing it's also for video stuff. Or no, sorry, not global shutter, but I'm thinking of open gate.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you want to have a square sensor, you're gonna be able to do some open gate stuff and just use that full sensor for like, yeah, both like vertical or horizontal video.
It says up to 100 frames per second at 10-bit output. Are we disappointed by that?
But is that for video or photos? Because it would be insane if that was.
Yeah, but 10-bit output for photos
Yeah.
is not good enough, right? Or am I? I'm not much. Disclaimer: I'm not much of a nerd. Also, another disclaimer: I am a Sony ambassador, so take every positive thing I say with a grain of salt. Every negative thing you know to be true, because why would I talk shit about my own brand?
I mean, look, 100 frames per second. I don't think every camera needs slow motion. I think if a Sony camera doesn't have 120, it's fine because I haven't used 120 in like a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you're gonna use slow motion, it's for me. It's like a bit of a gimmick. You don't need it.
So it does also say, I didn't see this until now, but it says the sensor diagonally measures 39.7 millimeters, which is slightly smaller than full frame diagonal of 43.3 millimeters, but still larger than APS-C at 26.8. So in terms of the sensor and the physical size of the sensor, it's somewhere in between APS-C and full frame.
Exactly. So it can be medium format.
So what is that?
Square.
They just gave us... we're waiting for so many things from Sony right now. Sony has so many just
It has a lot to
monsters they could-
prove because it has
Yeah.
a lot to fight for. Like it used to lead innovation, and now you have Nikon catching up. You have Canon catching up with the C50
Yeah.
in terms of video stuff. It has a lot to like do just to like remain relevant.
So why would it announce this sensor right now? What does Sony stand to gain with this sensor?
That's a good question.
Like, what is this sensor?
What is this?
The more I look into it, the more I'm confused. What is this thing?
Because like, what is it trying to compete against? Because at this point, like other 100 megapixel cameras, you're talking about like Hasselblad. You're talking about the Fujifilm GFX series,
Yeah.
which are both of them medium format, 100 megapixel
Yeah.
cameras. So either they're trying to make it more, not affordable, but yeah, more accessible, high megapixel camera that's not necessarily full frame, I guess, to just save on cost and just keep their lineup of lenses.
Yeah. You think they're trying to just completely restructure camera sensors?
Could be.
Yeah. Huh. Then
It's-
maybe that's why they're taking so long to release anything new, is that they have this completely radical new concept of what a camera sensor should look like,
Yeah.
where it's 105 effective megapixels. That's insane.
Yes, it's but that's the thing. It's. I was just curious about what camera will get it,
Yeah,
and then what will come with it.
because at the moment, there is no camera that uses a sensor that shape that I know of, at least from Sony.
Correct.
So they got to come out with something new. At a time where we're all waiting for the A7S IV and whatever the A7 V is going to be, they have this completely new sensor, seemingly new or I forget the word I was looking for, but just technology even
Yeah.
that fills a gap that nobody even knew existed. So I'm curious. We'll keep an eye on it. That's something that's going to develop into who knows what. Speaking of the A7 V, Sony Alpha Rumors also claims that there will be a new announcement about the A7 V next month. I don't think there's anything concrete. I mean, obviously, this is just a rumor. There's nothing written down. Sony hasn't said anything. But what would we want out of the A7 V?
Global shutter.
Yeah. 105 megapixels.
What would I want? I feel like the A7 IV is already really good.
Yeah.
Being, 33 megapixels. I don't necessarily think the A7 V should need more megapixels. I think 33 is plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start getting up there in megapixels, then you're cannibalizing with the A7R, the A1.
Yeah.
So there's no point on that. It's supposed to be an affordable camera, right? Like a entry level camera that anyone can afford. So for me, it's just global shutter, just some decent video capabilities. Because in terms of photos, A7 IV is already a beast. Yeah.
I'm wondering if Sony has waited this long. And once again, I don't know anything. They don't tell me anything, even though I am an ambassador and I beg all the time. They don't tell me anything. I'm wondering if Sony is completely restructuring the A
lineup.
I mean, the A lineup, in itself. Doesn't have to be an A7. Doesn't have to be A7R. Doesn't have to be A7S. They've put so much effort into the cinema lineup, the FX cameras. Maybe the A7Ss are going the way of becoming cinema cameras and not half-halves. Because the way they've been branding the A7S, S standing for sensitivity, is that it's a good low-light camera that happens to be really good at film as well. So I wonder if they're just abandoning ship on that, not selling that to still photographers, and then going to make that just an FX camera.
It would make sense if they didn't release this FX2.
Yeah, nobody knows what the FX2 is.
Because the FX2 still has the 33. It's an A7 IV in a FX format.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense because if I'm going to film with it, I don't want to have 33 megapixels. I want to have a lower, amount just to have that sensitivity for better low light.
Because 33 megapixels translates to how many K? Do you know?
Not like it doesn't really translate to anything for filming in terms of better quality, but it's more the amount of sensitive pixels that can capture light is now smaller, meaning that you have a smaller surface area to capture light, so it's less sensitive to light.
The pixels are smaller.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why the FX3, the A7S3, they're 12 megapixels cameras.
But the trade-off is you get like an 8K camera.
The trade-off is that you can put your shutter or your ISO to 12,800.
Yeah. If you have smaller,
If you have bigger.
I'm a dumbass. If you have bigger pixels, you can have better low light resolution and you can pump the ISO up higher. But if you have smaller pixels, you can have a higher resolution. You can have an 8K camera instead of a 4K camera.
Yeah.
That shoots worse in low light, but has the benefit of being 8K, future ready or whatever.
Future ready, but then it's like when you look at least at because you have the FX3, right, which is a smaller form factor, which you can kind of place anywhere. It's cheap, so you can kind of use it as a GoPro almost for like very big budget films.
Yeah.
But this is not for a very big budget film. It's for everyday shooters,
That's
right?
a good way to describe it. GoPro for big budget films. The FX3. Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? It's for the everyday shooter, and most of them, they want to be able to shoot in low light because they might not be able to afford the big lights, even though like everything is getting more affordable nowadays.
Mhm.
But I don't see a point to have an 8K camera if you're not on a big budget thing.
Yeah.
Like the everyday man doesn't need 8K.
Mhm. In which case, the A7S stays or goes?
I think the A lineup should just like, that's the thing. If you have the FX3, you don't need an A7S.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need the
No.
viewfinder.
And the FX2 takes still photos as well.
Yeah.
So the FX2 is just the A7S.
But that's the thing though. FX2 doesn't make sense because that's the thing. If you're going to buy an A7 IV, it's because you want to do both video and photo.
Yep.
If you buy an A7S III, it's because you mainly want to film.
Mm.
And if you buy an A7R, then you're just going to take photos. Mainly photos.
That's the idea.
That's the idea. But now, for me, it's like, okay, well, the A7S III doesn't make sense because now the FX3 gets most of the updates. It's a better body just that you can build upon. And you can still take photos. You just don't need a viewfinder.
Yeah.
So you can drop the
FX
A7S.
has completely cannibalized the A7S.
Yeah, you can
customer,
drop the A7S lineup.
which means the A7 V, if that is a real camera, what purpose does it serve? Is that same thing as the A7 IV, just the base model A7
Entry level,
Welcome
everyday
to the
man's
lineup.
camera. Not trying to be anything else than just a good camera.
prosumer for people who are trying to figure out what they want to
Yeah.
focus on? And then do we continue with the A7R and get an A7 VIR out of order?
I mean, because the A7R is what it's fighting or it's competing against the A1, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which the A1 technically is the flagship. It's supposed to be the main golden boy from Sony camera.
51 megapixels, ultra fast, ultra smart autofocus.
Yeah. But then the A7R5, 61 megapixels,
Also fast.
also fast.
Yeah.
Better screen because I hate the screen on the
Yeah,
A1.
Yeah.
So I don't get the point of it.
So maybe here's where it's going to go. Maybe the A7 V is the A7. There is no R, there is no S. That's the A7. The S goes the way of the FX series, becomes part of the cinema lineup. If you want a camera that does like pretty basic level stills but kicks ass at filming in low light, get an FX. If you want a high resolution commercial monster that can handle anything, get the A1. Maybe they bump up the resolution. Maybe it's like 100 megapixels or whatever the new sensor is. And if you want just the high speed, quick photojournalism sports model, that's the A9.
Yeah.
So the S becomes the FX, the R becomes the A1, and the A7 just maintains its own life as prosumer. Welcome to the industry. Here's how you get your beak wet or get started. I'm terrible at those things.
That would make sense.
I like it. It simplifies the lineup and makes it easier to understand as well.
Exactly. And there's no like, oh, is that the, oh, you have the R or like the S, and then it's like, oh, which one? What does that one do?
Yeah. They don't have to explain R means resolution.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that's all getting pretty heavy to understand. There was also the rumor of a new lens coming out to replace the 90 millimeter macro lens. They're saying there might be a 100 millimeter f2.8 GM macro lens. Do we care?
Personally, not really.
Me neither. All right. That's the end of Office Talk. Either way, looking forward to all the new gear. Hopefully there is new gear. This is all rumors, by the way.
We never know what's going to happen.
We don't know anything.
But if we're right, we knew.
Someone owes us money. Cool. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.
Peace.